Party people.
Gonna get funky. Do the robot. Do the robot. You know, the guy that does the robot at the party is definitely the party.
He is the party.
He is the party.
Because you have to, number one, really not give a fuck.
You gotta have balls, man.
Yes.
You gotta really be able to get out there and just shake it up,
right?
And then if you do the swing arm,
exactly,
you're the guy.
Exactly, you're the guy. And then it's one of those things where, like, if you do it tentatively,
yeah,
people are like, but when you have conviction in doing it,
oh, you own it.
Then you all of a sudden you get the rally and everybody's like, oh,
yeah! That's a real party trick. So, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Happy
after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Happy turkey recovery.
Turkey recovery.
Gobble, gobble.
What? How was your turkey?
My turkey was delicious.
Wow.
My turkey was delicious. Partly because we didn't make it.
Okay.
We went over my wife's cousins, who had like all that cadre of family.
Dressing.
Came over and everything, and dinner was delicious. You know, company was great. We had a great time. But the best part is when we were done, okay, gotta go.
See you guys later.
Help clean up a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
But then we were done with it.
That's cool. That's really cool. So I cooked. Actually,
smoked your turkey, right? You brined and smoked your turkey.
So I brined the whole bird. Sat it out for about 18 hours in
nice.
a special apple cider brine that I picked up from Pit Bros.
Okay.
Pit Bros something YouTube. And I said, all right, I'm going to try it. And it's an apple cider brine. And I didn't know you brine cold like that.
Right.
Because it's supposed to be like a marinade, not a smother. It's not supposed to
right.
saute. It's not supposed to cook.
It's supposed to cook it, right.
Right. It turned out great. The bird was a little too big.
Okay.
It was a huge bird that we had got from my partner Mario, he picked up like 30 fucking turkeys. And,
oh, Jesus.
Yeah, he gives them out to his staff and stuff. Really cool thing to do. And they served at a senior facility, so they gave away a lot of food and stuff. Shout out to Corrupt Mob, and which unfortunately they lost one of their soldiers. Corrupt Mob is a motorcycle group.
Okay.
A good friend of mine. Well, became a good friend of mine. Didn't know him that long, maybe about 5 or 6 years. A gentleman named Gorilla. Unfortunately passed away this week.
This week, wow.
Yeah, this week. It was like literally like the weekend. The weekend prior to this weekend, obviously being.
Man.
So tough time when you lose people around the holidays because it's memorial, right?
Right.
It just really sits on you. But you know, we're doing a huge memorial this weekend for him. With his family and stuff. I mean, he's got a lot, very well loved, very well liked. He's got a big family.
Do you have kids?
He's 15 kids.
He has 15 kids?
Bro had 15 kids,
Ooh.
bro. And
that shoots everybody's average up.
Yeah. And I met his son. I met his son before, and he came, I think he's from Florida or whatever, cool guy. And he was like, yeah, I got 6 kids. I'm about to be a grandfather. And I'm like, yo, you guys are just like breeding. And so shout out to Corrupt Mob and Gorilla and his family. We rest in peace. But outside of the bird, I mean, I put this thing on the grill. I could have kept it longer.
Okay.
One of the things I was trying to do was cook on. I use a gas grill.
Right.
So I'm a gas grill guy, and my friends always get on me because they're charcoal guys. See, it sounds a little better when I
a little bit closer.
Yeah, when I angle back a little bit. So they're huge charcoal guys.
Okay.
So I always try to make sure I can at least compete and just show them gas grill. No, I love the gas grill because I can get up and go. I can turn it on, pop out of me, quick, and turn it off, and then close it. These guys gotta wait, cold, dump it, prep it, dump the cold, flying everywhere. But I can't stand people who use charcoal grills and use lighter fluid. ox.
Because everything tastes like lighter fluid.
Yeah, man, that's not cool. If you're gonna cook on charcoal, you get yourself a chimney.
Chimney, right?
Yeah, and you cook and you burn your.
You prime it. You prime your coals.
Yeah, coals should be white, no black. You know, once they turn all white, you're good to go, man. And I hate people. I hate two things about grilling. I hate lighter fluid and foil. Fucking foil all over the grill, making burgers sizzling in their own grease and stuff. And I'm like, dude, the grease is supposed to drop on the fire, sear back up, right, and give you the flavor.
Kind of defeating the purpose of
grilling.
grilling.
You could have stayed at home, man. You could have made these patties in the microwave or something like that. So why would you do this? So that's what I those are my two pet peeves about grilling. But man, she came out great. I mean, the bird was cooked.
Yeah,
nice flavor. But it was quiet because everybody was so busy. You know, my daughter has a job and she works at the Queen Center Mall or whatever it is, and she had to be there at Black Friday midnight. So, and then she went to see her friend and so forth. So I kind of like, after cooking all day long, came home. I mean, I was home. My wife came home. Everybody was tired, running around, and because they serve at a soup kitchen.
Right.
Every year in Brooklyn. I mean, in fact, the kids don't know anything other than, like, when Thanksgiving to them was, remember Thanksgiving for us was we used to go to grandma's house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Every year was like get in the car, drive up to Harlem.
Saying Thanksgiving for them is serving at the.
So Thanksgiving for my kids is serving at this soup kitchen, and I'm really grateful for it because they kind of just like woosah afterwards. They're like not into the where's the stuff, where's all this, because they've been serving it all day long. And they just see the people a little less fortunate than themselves.
It's always good.
Yeah. To see it firsthand and see them.
That's always good. Yeah. I remember when I was like a little like downtrodden and like sort of like out of like in bad straits, so to speak. Shit wasn't going good for me and whatnot. I decided that I was like gonna spend those holidays rather than just like sitting down wondering, you know, when I'm gonna commit suicide. Well, let me just go and freaking like be of service to somebody else or whatnot. And I started doing. I did that for a couple years.
Yeah, that's
and just made you feel real good.
You know, it fills a void, man. It fills a void where you have, you know, you're willing and you're able to help somebody else. I think there's always a good thing. You know, there's nothing negative about it. And so they always do that. By the time they got home, they ran off. This one, he had to go somewhere. She had to go somewhere.
Right.
My wife and I had a quiet dinner with ourselves. Nice. It was awesome. It was just great. We sat there. We had a quiet dinner, chopped it up, and kind of had the lethargic itis afterwards. It just took I had to take a nap because she I had to take my daughter to work at midnight.
Right.
And she worked from like midnight to noon the next day. It was insane. It's insane. It's insane for stuff. And I'm saying, like, how much did you sell? Like, were you guys like busy? Was it like jam packed? Was it people running in, busting down the door or whatever? So it's just weird. We talked about it episode 10 and this Black Friday stuff that people need. They just want. They just gotta have. I mean, what could you get? With Amazon now, you order it comes, it'll be here tomorrow.
You know, it's so unfortunate because you catch videos every once in a while of seeing people just like fucking trampling each other.
Yeah.
Just to get in line to get that like $175 TV or whatever. And if you ever stop to ask, like if you're doing that, have you ever stopped to ask yourself, okay, well, what if I don't get this TV? What about my life has changed? I mean, this is the same type of reaction that people do when they all of a sudden get food aid.
What do you mean?
Like the reaction that unfortunately what we have in the States about Black Friday is the same reaction that people have if they have not eaten in several days, and all of a sudden there's a food aid station there.
Okay, I get it.
You got to go get like a bag of rice,
or
something like
bread.
that. Or people fighting over each other so that they can feed their families, but we're doing the same shit for a fucking TV.
For useless stuff.
You know,
for mostly electronics. I will say that electronics kind of tops the rank of all things that are like on the gadget, anything that plugs in, which always goes into the same question of why we're in Afghanistan, why we're in these war places, and why we I watched your boy Elon Musk and Bill Gates.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen these guys talk about the future? I mean, what they're
proposing. I know Elon Musk has a couple of weird ideas.
He's fucking weird, man. He listen.
He's trying to do this shit under Los Angeles, or like create underground tunnels to travel under Los Angeles.
Super Blade Runner type, you know, underground. He believes, you know, you can go 30 stories below rather than going 30 stories above because everything above is going to go to shit, you know. Right. And he, you know, so I don't know. I mean, he's super emphatically. I think he's delusional. I mean, I get his tenacity, but have you seen his Giga plant or whatever he calls it? He's got a new his new Tesla lab that he's been building for the last 10 years. This thing is insane, and it's like in Area 51. Really? It's out there somewhere. So the crazy thing is that I actually think we're creating the things that we said we were looking for when they didn't exist, and we're making them exist. Like, people are building Area 51. Like, they're making it happen just propensity. Like, just...
Well, look, I mean, what you got on your wrist right now? What did we...
Dick Tracy.
The Dick Tracy thing was like a, you know, ooh, but this is actually even better than what they said what they had in the cartoon.
Well, you know what the funny thing is with the Apple Watch? What I always thought, and they haven't done it yet. You still can't FaceTime. You still can't see the person to talk to.
But that's coming.
You know, they have alternative apps. They have a wristband that fits for this that makes it do it, which has a separate app. So it's an accessory now. Okay. And I saw it. It was called like iWatch or something like that, and it was really. I was like, oh, I gotta have it. See, that's what happens to you. It makes you want to have it, but.
So what level of so it also begs the question: at what level of technology do you have to participate in so that you are moving forward? Because at some point, you can't just keep. You can get maniacal with like the newest, but then how far are we as a society going that way? That if you don't hop onto that, you're going to be the guy that's behind. Right. You know, I got a friend who, like a few years ago, when we were trying to get, he said he wanted to go to the Yankee game. So, okay, so we'll go to the Yankee game, and he said I'll get tickets. All right, so you go get tickets. I get a phone call that morning. The dude says, "Yeah, I'm here at the stadium, and they're out of tickets." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He says, "I tried to go to the ticket window, but they're like, no, you don't. That doesn't happen anymore. That doesn't happen anymore. You're supposed to get the tickets online." He's like, "Oh, I can't." So you can either be that guy, that guy who just doesn't get that. Okay, we've moved on to other ways of doing certain forms of technology.
That's interesting.
But do you just go all in and everything is new? Because there's like virtual reality shit that creates
scary,
this environment, so what you really can't tell the difference between whether this is like actually real or if this has been
it's super scary.
Is a manufactured environment.
It's super scary. I mean, funny thing you say with the ticket window, when Oklahoma City did something very interesting when opening season started, when the Thunder, the basketball team, they made sure that there were no electronic sales,
none, and that
first people to go to the windows got first right.
Really?
Yes. So what I heard allegedly, I wasn't there. I mean, but I heard that they opened the ticket booth. Number one to jobs for all the people to and it was an event. It was a thing. It was like everyone line up, get online, popcorn, vendors outside, and go buy your ticket. So that's an interesting concept of Renaissance. Bringing it back to the human factor, which I respected. I mean, and which, with all due respect to the frenzy, with them getting a whole new team and reorgan, I really thought that was a class act. If that's true, I did not research this, so I don't know how true it is. But I only saw it on a tweet or something like that. Right. And that's pretty cool. That's cool if you could do that, because StubHub and all these electronic robots, as we were talking last. There was a whole special on ABC the other day about robots. I mean, all these, and they don't mean a physical machine robot. It's an app robot You ever go on a website and it says, "I am not a robot"? You click this thing here.
Right.
Well, that's what that means.
That's a robot.
Yeah, that's a robot. Yeah. And you have to physically press the button because there's these app bots that have learned that have these algorithms in and know when to click on buttons and that's everything from travel, Priceline to Expedia and all these other crazy things that people just create these apps to get the best deal.
There's an article I read about the prevalence now of robots now doing administrative processes.
Jeez.
So the person at the DMV who has to check this or those or whatever,
Right.
that person is going to be circumvented
Yes.
now because you will send in your application and this robot, or and like you said, it's not a physical robot.
Yeah. People
will go through the process of boop, this is the result, bam, and then that's it.
I'm not afraid of it. I'm afraid for humanity. I'm afraid for people falling, the romanticism of it, and people just not being smart. Like, I've seen what people are capable of not knowing. You don't know what you don't know. And I've seen tons of people just naivete. Like, we're up to, like we said, the iPhone 8. The 8 came out, and then a week later the 10 came out. Like, and
yeah, that was weird.
That was super weird. And I was like, what? What are they doing? Like, and that to me is super scary because people, well, they said the sales are dramatically down because people are just like, I think
I think Apple sort of reached a saturation point.
Yeah.
To which people are going, all right, fine. What,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll hold on to this.
But I've seen all the ads of the Android, the older Android, like the 6, the Galaxy 6 versus the new 10, and they're like, like Apple finally caught up with the Android. That we had that 2 years ago, like the megapixel camera and all this other stuff. So there's only but so much stuff you could jam in a phone. I mean,
only but so much stuff, and then it begs the question. Well, then what else do you need other than what this thing is supposed to be for? Like your ability to make a phone call has not increased one bit.
Right. No.
Your ability to make a phone call, absolutely.
It got less.
It's even more, but still, everything else has increased.
Yeah,
so your camera's better. You got locators on it. You can do all kinds of other shit. Dude. You can use it to program other things. You can use your phone to program your television. You can do all this other stuff. But the thing that this is supposed to be is a damn phone. Is the one thing that really is not any different.
I saw a Golden State game. You see Steve Kerr?
No.
He had an interview, and he's getting more and more like Pop now these days. Cause
speaking his mind, just
saying
whatever's on his mind.
So he was, I don't know what he was doing. He was shuffling cards. He was doing all this stuff. He was like, "You guys tweeted? You ready to tweet? You ready to Twitter? You ready to get? Okay, here we go." And they're like looking at him, and he's like, "You got that?" He's really going in because And he was like, "Guys, you saw the game. Like you want to ask me the same things you saw, and you have no He was telling him, unless you have an intelligent question to ask me,
right?
You want to ask me about a play that you saw. You saw it. What did happen when he went to the basket and shot it? It went in.
It went in. We got
we got 2 points for it. That's how the game goes.
Right. If he was a little bit farther back, he'd have gotten 3.
He would have got. This is what he's saying. It looks like that's what he's saying. I mean, I kind of didn't get into the nuances of it, but and I'm sure he got fined for it. I'm sure he got a fine for just being media friendly. Media friendly, but. It's so true. It's like, guys, come on. There's no intelligence whatsoever.
Right.
None.
Yeah.
And everyone's just retweeting, rehashing,
just trying to get a response. Just like saying something to get a response, and nobody's asking intelligent questions.
You ever go to a meeting or a conference or some kind of a tutorial where everyone's in it and one speaker is there and so does anyone have any questions? And some guy goes, "So, do the kids come in through this side and go through?" Yes, we've said that.
Right.
Like, did you just get here, or what? There's always one guy to do it. And we were at we're not Georgetown. We were at Seton Hall.
Okay.
Was Seton Hall? What's the one in Jersey? Yeah, Seton Hall. We're at Seton Hall, and I'm sitting with my daughter, and I'm saying, watch one guy, so there's always one, that's gonna put his hand up and say a question that was already said.
Right.
And she was like, Dad, you and your, and lo and behold, this guy was, he's behind us, and I hear him, he's whispering to his kid, I'm going to ask about the meal plan, and this. She said, Dad, don't raise your hand, they said that. You're stupid. He was like, yeah, I just want to, and he's saying to her, no, I just want them to know that I understand it. But why would you do that? Why would you ask a question?
I'm smart.
Yeah, I heard you.
I'm smart.
I heard everything you said.
Yes.
But just people just, that's how fucked up we've gotten from being interactive. Like, we don't even know how to do it anymore. So we're canning a response. Like, we're just saying, if I don't say something, people are gonna think you're not here.
Right.
Yeah, like I wasn't here.
Right.
And that's what's scary to me, that people are creating content. They're creating content to talk about when they know that, like, there's nothing to talk about.
There's nothing to talk about.
Jeez.
But you're creating an environment for which you can say, yeah, it happens all the time. I mean, it happens all the time when we have meetings. When you go over points A, B, and C. And what bothers me is okay, meeting's over.
Yeah.
We've gone over all of these points.
Right.
We actually have somebody taking notes of all the points, generalizing it, and then sends it to everybody after it's over. Okay. Anybody have any questions? No, anybody have any questions? If you got any questions, let us know. Blah, 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 blah. Next meeting you have, 2 weeks later, everybody asks questions of all the shit that was covered in the previous meeting.
Happens every time.
And so I always say, I said, look, we either need to make these meetings longer, or just not have them, because the first 45 minutes of this meeting is us rehashing the shit that we had before.
Right.
Which means you either weren't paying attention, and you didn't read the damn thing that we gave you that summarized all this information. Nobody has a question about it.
Right.
But you're asking questions that are answered in the fucking the meeting notes we just had.
It's funny when I have those meetings and we start at, like, there's 10 points on it, right? Mm-hmm. So there's like 10 things to cover. So when I get on a conference call like that, I'm always kind of like the stalemate. It's kind of like, guys, make this simple here. Who goes first? Who's whatever. Right. So I said, guys, there are 10 things on this list here. Have we achieved any of them to cross them off? Like, I want to get rid of these things. I want to get it to, the goal here is to have none.
They have none, right.
So are we crossing things off, or are we continuing to add? If you don't have a resolution for number one, it's irrelevant. Like,
right.
Don't tell me why the guy. That's a big disease everybody's got. That guy disease. That guy. The guy. Where's the guy? This guy is notorious. He fucks up everything.
It's this one dude just sitting up there just fucking everything up.
The guy.
That's right.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I have no luck with any of these of those things. They spill, I drink out of them.
One of the best. Well, yeah, I won't do that. I don't. It always scares me when I see people like on the train.
Yeah.
Who come on with like a sandwich and a coffee and they sit there and you say, this dude is this shit is going.
That's me.
Everywhere.
That's me.
And they're sitting there and
trying to say
and
small.
you're like, how are you trying to stop? Can you wait the 20 minutes to like get to where you're going, or do you have to have breakfast now?
I think one of the last times I took like the train to work, I used to take the actual train, and then now I took the long railroad maybe about 5-10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. You driving to work all the time?
No. I used to take the regular train, like
E-train, subway.
E-train, like subway. Take the bus to there and catch it. It took 2 hours, 3.5 hours to get to fucking work. It was insane. Then I started taking the express bus, which was kind of cool, but they don't have bathrooms on there, and you're on this thing for 2.5 hours, and you're like, shit, I gotta pee.
At some point.
Especially if you're drinking a beer or something like that.
Right.
And then, go back to the regular train, and I had, it was a beggar, a guy, a homeless guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, they just like zombies. This guy's like anything to eat, blah, blah, blah. And, the dude's coming through brushing everybody, and it's like, please, you're just hoping, like,
please don't
come on, man, don't.
Because
Because I don't even want to touch you to push you away from me.
Right.
Like, I don't want to touch you. I can smell you from here. I get it. You got an issue. I wish I could help you. But this whatever I have in my pocket won't help you.
Right.
This is not going to help you.
Right.
I give you everything. Is you going to just use it and go through each day to day? There's not a solution for it. The point I'm trying to make is, the guy comes over and I guess he got a bagel from someone or whatever else, and he's literally like eating the bagel. He's drooling and dripping, and he's like, "Any change?" And he got the bagel in his hand. You know, he's got a jungle and a bunch of shit. He's got bags of vagabond whatever stuff, and the fucking cream cheese bloop, falls right on my lap.
Oh.
And I'm going, "Yo, man, you know, damn, man, you know." And he goes, "It's just cream cheese, man." Damn near, I was froze. I couldn't do nothing.
Oh,
I was sitting down. He was above me. He was huge, and he had like one tooth. He was like a drooling dog. "It's just cream cheese, man."
Damn.
And I was like,
"Damn, that's a decision."
"Okay, nothing I can do."
It's a decision to make.
"All right, man. Yo, but just watch it next time, man. Trying to be tough."
So, yo, man.
Yo,
I understand your predicament.
This guy was like steaming funk in my face, like. I was like, "All right, man. You got it, man."
I remember I felt bad one time. Somebody was on the corner when I'm getting off. I'm coming out the train on 53rd Street. Somebody's on the corner, you know, asking people for change and whatnot. And I was in a mood, and the dude came up to me. He said, "Help a brother out with some change." And I looked at him and I said, "Get the fuck out of here."
Ooh.
And I felt so bad after that.
Ooh.
I felt horrible.
Yeah, that's
You know, I mean, yeah, you're probably thinking that the whole time. But then as soon as I said that, I was like, "Oh, you didn't."
You made it real. You made it real.
You didn't have to just do anything. And so I'm like walking, and I'm saying to myself, "This motherfucker behind me." Like I'm like, do I turn around and look? And he had gone on and done this other thing. But I felt horrible.
Yeah.
I felt horrible. Like it wasn't the circumstance. It was my reaction. I didn't have to have that reaction to it.
Well, I mean, it goes to, you know, saying of like everyone has their days. You know what I'm saying? And we talked about this at dinner. We had a great dinner with the family.
Yes.
That was wonderful. Thank you for putting that together. Get the kids together. These guys have like no social skills whatsoever. They just look at each other like, "So how are you?" "No, how are you? How are you?" How are you? It's weird, and trying to get them to just engage is a challenge in itself. Right. You know, and they're like phone calls away. Like you would think with all the technology, it's so easy. "Hey, man, how you doing?" "Nothing much." But it's planned. But it's all. They're all planned connections. Yeah.
All these
they're not organic.
Connections.
Is that what it is? They're not organic.
All these are planned connections. I mean, how many times do people just put stuff out just to see what kind of response they're going to get from their people and from their friends and whatnot?
No, for sure, that happens all the time. But what we talked about was the charitable moment of, you know, your daughter said, you know, you help us, and I asked, can you help everybody?
Can you help everybody?
You can't help everyone.
Right.
So are you there for the real solution, or are you there for a partial solution, or is it the solution to make you feel good about it? You know, is that good enough? And I think most people charitably give to free their consciousness. That's all. It's just hey, but I give. You know, I that's like the proverbial. I have black friends. You know, it's the same. See, look, I got a picture of Obama somewhere around here. So I think that's always what you're gonna get when you get, you know, a massive problem with more do's than don'ts. You know, and you can't solve everyone's problem.
No.
You know, so but is a charitable contribution enough? Is it's good enough? It's something, right? It's something better than nothing.
It's something. I mean, you know, something's better than nothing, and it's always. I mean, no, nothing ever alleviates the problem because there's so many levels to which it has to be handled.
Right.
You know, can it be handled privately? Do we need to get the government involved? And you know, does this fucker need to, you know, take some responsibility for their shit and stuff like that? And and so, and then you gotta, you always have to weigh in the fact of, if are you getting taken to the cleaners, because nobody likes to feel like they've been taken advantage of. If you handed somebody $2 out of your pocket, on the corner, and then you came around, and then all of a sudden, like, you see that person hopping into a Mercedes Benz, you'd be pissed off. Granted, it's $2 that you wouldn't miss
Super
for anything.
No,
but the betrayal you would feel. Would be immense.
But I guess that's with everybody now. Everyone somewhat feels everything's a scam.
Right.
Everything's a scam away from, one guy, basketball team kid. We talked about this before, like the teams, the guys outside,
the candy and stuff like
and
that.
all that stuff. And the I guess the human, again, we always go back to the human factor of things, making it real. Like, when will it be enough? Like, when is it done? Like, when is it ever? And it's not. I think the answer is it's not. It should not. Done. It should never be done.
Right. Nor should it ever be done.
True.
Nor should it ever be done, because we're always, as people, I guess we're always developing. But there's always you only grow when there's something to overcome.
Huh.
So you have to have something to overcome.
Yeah.
And so that's how you handle it personally. How you handle with something like homelessness or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure if
it's a big problem.
A lot of shit to overcome. But
did we? I get so confused. I gotta start writing down what we talked about on some, because I don't want to repeat it too much. But at one point, I think we were talking about. Well, I think maybe we were just talking about this in a bar or something. I went to District 27 had this a public funding meeting, and they took all the kids. My daughter went and volunteered, and they took all the kids from her dance school, and they helped volunteer. And it was kind of like a town hall meeting with District 27, and they were explaining about how much money they have in this escrow account for public projects. And asking the kids, what could you do? What could we do? What do you think should? What should
valuable
we?
projects, right?
And most of the kids said, we'd like to see more gardens. We'd like to see more, those islands in between the grass spaces. Some of those kept up, not just put up the day of, and then, they get. And most of them, and then a lot of kids talked about the homeless problem.
Right.
And, they kind of alluded to, well, there's shelters all over. There's all these places. And I think one little girl said, yeah, but they just don't have any place to put their stuff. And a light bulb went off, and I was like, what? Like, and I looked into this, because there's a shelter on Madison. It's it's a shelter, a homeless shelter.
Okay.
They don't have lockers.
This wasn't a bar, I think you said.
I think we talked about this in a bar.
Right, okay.
Every homeless, I don't want to say the word bum, but we would normally say bums. Bums is bums. Every bum's challenge is their stuff.
Right.
The only thing they have left in the world is that crate, that stuff, that old suitcase with one wheel, the whatever it is, and they guard it with their life. So that's why they're sleeping in the when you get to work, they've been up all night watching this bag.
Right.
Don't touch my stuff. If you at least gave them a cubby, a box with a code and a keypad, and said, this is your number here, write it on your hand or do whatever else, and so you'll never lose it, or put a key around their neck or something like that, I think more of them will use it, because they're always, if they put their stuff, they give them a cot, those school cots, the little fold up. They give you one of those, and you put your shit underneath it, and there's always some guy like sneaking and grabbing your shit. As dirty as it is, as whatever it is, that seems to be the bigger problem with those guys inside their own.
Taking other people's shit, right?
Yeah, stuff. I mean, again, the stuff. So the have and have-nots. You still go back to the the Black Friday, people rushing for stuff. They're no different. The homeless crowd of that can't just trying to get their stuff versus the people who just want.
What's in your car?
Give me that TV. I saw it first. What? And that happens at parking spots. Oh my God! That's why I love Amazon so much, is because I don't like dealing with
any of that shit.
I hate. I hate it. I hate when I'm not even thinking about that spot, and you think I'm thinking about it, and you gonna kill somebody when they fight over this.
Yeah.
No, I'm going. Guys. Like, I think maybe we just need to put like PAs on the outside. Like,
Right.
No, I don't want the spot.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm passing on. Anytime I'm like in a big spot like that and I have to park, I try to park as far away.
I do too.
as
I
possible.
do not want to be.
I don't want any. This is like my attempt to just avoid any potential conflict whatsoever.
I will
park.
the last row facing the road.
Whatever is just like not. Whatever's not competitive.
Yeah.
You guys go ahead. You guys have that. I'll be over here. I'll walk an extra 90 seconds to get to where I'm gonna go. You guys go ahead.
You know what the most stupidest thing in sorry, I keep hitting this thing. You know what the most stupidest thing in parking in a supermarket is?
What?
Guys that park back in.
Oh, in the supermarket?
It's the dumbest thing you could do, man. I've seen it all the time. I watch people do it because they're just thinking about getting out because but they're not thinking about loading the goods. So now they gotta come and they're squeezing in between.
Right, they're squeezing in between.
Lift your trunk. Your trunk is facing that little funky bush in the back. You putting your shit in. Like, dude, it's meant your car. You pull in, you park, and you dump your stuff in and get out.
Right.
Back out. And people just don't want to do that backing out and getting out. It's really weird that way. So that's a funny thing. I mean, when you notice it, you start. I look for the funny stuff and.
What? You? No, you don't have your shit on.
I took it off airplane mode.
It's not on airplane mode.
Should have put it on airplane mode. Yeah, but anyway, it's a customer. So
yeah, parking. Yeah,
parking. It's weird.
It's weird. It's weird. It's why I kind of like. It's part of the reasons why I like going in and out of Manhattan when if we go hang out in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Like there's no like where are we gonna park?
On foot, you
aspect,
mean?
Yeah.
On foot,
On foot, or you're taking the train back and forth or whatever. You just go from one spot to one spot to one spot, and then you just go. You're not worried about like parking.
Yeah, there's nothing like PT. Like when you're doing public transportation, and especially if you got train, you got all that stuff figured out. Right. You can just hop on a train. I mean, that's what makes a city like Manhattan so attractive to people. That's what they call the cosmopolitan thing. Like
the cosmopolitan thing. That's
it's just like jump, go, flip cabs here. Ralph Cram taking cabs across the street, going in. Gallivanting. That's what he said. Gallivanting, taking cabs across the street. But that's a lifestyle. Like that's a. It costs, you know what I'm saying, but it does have its advantages.
It costs, but it has its advantages, and it mitigates other costs.
Right.
Very good. Like I got a guy who I work with. He lived in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Pretty much most of his life. Him and his family, they bought a house in Brooklyn. And of course now they got to commute. They got to commute back and forth and drive back and forth and take their kids to school and stuff like that. So he couldn't stand it. Couldn't stand it. He couldn't stand like having to either drive into work and find parking, and then if he decides like he's gonna go out with a couple friends or something like that, then you got this car that you gotta figure out like what do you do with it.
It's like having a big log attached to it. Where do I put this thing?
And so they actually sold their house, and he moved back to Manhattan.
Yeah.
He has his the building he's in. That they let him keep his car at the building or whatever, but it costs less than like coming in. Back and forth into Manhattan and stuff, and he loves it. He's like, "This is great."
Yeah, most people. That's like you said, a lifestyle. It's a cultural thing. Like you have to like. People love like living in buildings, dormant.
Right.
This shit here. I got a corner house here. I got leaves. I got shoveling. I got snow, ice. I got all that stuff. And
that's on you.
Yeah.
You gotta do it.
Trees, branches falling down, and some guy parks his car here. The tree falls on his. You should have pruned this tree or whatever. So I'm like, dude, like, what? Just scratch the top of your car. Nature did that. I didn't build the tree. I didn't plant it.
God did that.
Right.
God said your shit needs to.
Exactly. So that's pretty interesting. But what else is going on in news? I've seen.
I try to stop looking.
Yeah, during holiday time is all, guy was calling me and I was like, dude, my phone, I'm chilling, like I'm home, like I cut my shit off and I didn't want to be bothered. I mean, but I did see a thing. I don't know how true it was. I never trust CNN anymore these days.
It's hard to trust CNN.
Yeah, they just keep doing stuff
they keep doubling down on shit. It's like, no, we kind of.
Yeah, we kind of
like
up to you guys.
We kind of.
But we figured them out. I mean, they just can't keep doing this anymore. But they've been pushing this. I don't know if you've seen it. This new galactic, this huge 3-time football field cigar coming in from over Hawaii right now. It's being seen.
Well, what is it?
It's supposed to be some galactic fucking. It's not an asteroid.
Okay.
They said it has capability. It's looking like it's steering. It's moving. It's like this big vessel coming from another planet.
Just an arbitrary vessel.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. And I don't know how much of what they're showing is a real photo of it, because what they showed looked like a fucking the shit in Star Wars, like the like the big long, like it looks like a submarine. It looks like a submarine shape, size, and length, and it's flying through the galaxy.
Okay, all right.
And apparently on its way here or whatever else. Now, again, the conspiracy side says that the next biggest thing that they're proposing is the next UFO scare. The Orson Welles is coming. Run. Now, but I did look at the executive order in 2012 when Obama signed, I want to say 1013. Well, I forgot the number of it. I'll go back and get it. But the executive order that he did sign, it's part of the Patriot Act.
Okay.
And the only reason I had to look at this is because of my dealings with Mr. Trump and his family. But it says he put in there an addition to how the Patriot Act can be enabled on Americans for whatever reason, if they deem personal, and or non-human. Now, what the fuck does that mean?
And or non-human.
And or not exempting from non-human or human entity,
Really?
Unidentified human. What the fuck is that? Now, that could mean two things. That could mean, A, when people play this gender game and say, haha, you said a man, I'm not a man, I'm a fucking hermaphrodite or whatever. Yeah. So it's very interesting how they worded it, and it's in the Patriot Act, but it's executive order. It's an executive order, which is an addendum.
Well, it could be like if we can't identify something, but we've determined that this thing is harmful.
Right.
Threat. We can. It doesn't have. Like, we don't have to be able to say what it is. We can just say, that's scaring us. What? That.
Right.
Well, what is it? I don't know, but it's that, and it's scaring us. Let's get it.
The fucking spider, giant spider.
Right, yeah.
We gotta get him. We gotta get him.
That's quite possible.
But it is
That's
pretty
interesting.
It is
non-human entity.
Yeah,
Okay.
I downloaded a copy of it, which is public. You can go on fucking US.gov or whatever. And it's very interesting how they word it, and it always pop. It's like that was the new addendum, like and or non-human, and it's like, what? Wait a minute, you guys are prepared for this? Like when you put the law in.
That's what you said about translate. And then you said war, so I just this image came into my head, like this army of fucking transsexuals, just all of a sudden gearing up and just like so we gotta kill them.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know. Are they men or women? Doesn't matter. The fucking executive order says we don't have to define them.
Article so and so says that
we can kill all the social justice warriors.
When Mars attacked. Remember that
movie?
Yeah, that was classic right there.
That was a classic.
Because yap. These guys came and they were like, and as goofy as shit as they look, people were like, okay, they're here, great. Can we? And they started cutting heads off and putting them on dogs and zapping people and doing all this reverse stuff. That was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
And that was one of those. I like those star-studded movies where they have like a lot of characters,
like a bunch of people doing little parts or whatnot.
Yeah. Those are fun because there's no like principal guy. Like there's no. They're all kind of fun.
Jack Nicholson had like 4 roles.
Yeah,
he played like 4 parts.
He was great in that.
And whatnot.
well, everyone just relax. I like
Gave
Jack.
up pork, huh?
Jack is great, man. He is one of those phenomenal guys that...
He's golfing with the president this weekend.
Is he?
Yeah. Oh, is it Jack Nicholson or Jack Nicholas? I can't remember now.
Oh, it's got to be the real Jack Nicklaus, like the.
It's got to be the golf. Okay,
Got to be the golf.
I can't remember. Apparently, the president, he golfed with Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
And then it said Jack Nicholas, but I don't know. It's Nicholas or Nicholson.
Might
one of those two.
Nicholas.
Could be either or.
Could be either.
I mean, if the president asked you to go golfing, would you go?
I'd go.
Yeah.
I'd go. Shits and giggles.
Yeah.
And just say I was there.
I mean, you got to.
You'd have to.
I mean, you'd have to.
Some people can act, everybody, not my president, not my... Okay, you can say all that, whatever you want. There is no, where do you go? Where do you go with this? This doesn't go anywhere.
I mean, you can't, you can't like turn it down.
Right. You can't fight City Hall. That's number one.
You can't turn it down because of strictly based on principled matters.
Right.
I mean, if something like that would have happened, okay, you probably take it, and I mean, it depends on how silly it becomes. I mean, maybe you got to find your way out. I remember Woody Harrelson told this story about when I think he met with Trump or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Said he had to, he said he was having dinner with them, and then he said he had to stop, and he had to go out and smoke a joint.
I can believe that.
Because he didn't believe just how utterly narcissistic this guy was, But you still somehow, I mean, and of course they asked you to do stupid shit, you have to demonstrate some form of self-respect.
Well, I mean, I had the fortunate pleasure of working at Augusta Golf Course.
Okay, Augusta National.
Yeah, and we did some work there, and I must say
Private golf course.
I'm going to tell you, they are stuck in a time warp. There was a guy mentioned seersucker suit. These fuckers walk around with seersucker suits and lemonades.
Yeah.
All day long. Old rich white guys, and these guys are like billionaires.
Mm-hmm. Corn
Billionaire, like these guys are like corn huskers and all kinds of crazy plantation guys. Right. And the guy says, now boy, you're gonna leave them packing peanuts there, because the shit came out of the box. We were moving the furniture in, and we were trying to get out of it. Now check this out. They took our cell phones. They're
very strict on.
They did not allow, and I'm like, we're working here. Like I'm not a union employee, so I'm supervising. I'm telling them, I'm looking at the plans. I'm like, those two stools go there. These come out of the box. And the guy goes, young boy, boy. Like, and I just
had to stop for a second.
But you know what? Not to play. Yep. And I said, yes. Yeah, you got them packing peanuts there. You gonna believe them right there? And I said, no, sir. I picked it up and I said, you take that with you. And the guy just looked and was like, call somebody. Like I assaulted him. Uh-huh. I put it in his hand. I was like, oh yeah, no, here, you dropped that. And the guy was like, no, it's dirty. Like, these guys are time warp, and they all look like the KFC guys. They all look like the Kentucky Fried Chicken Colonel. Just shitload of them. I mean, so for shits and giggles, I would go, do it. But the fact that I could work there, I mean, I didn't give a shit. You're paying me.
Right.
Cut the check. I don't care. You could do all this and talk about me or whatever else. And it's unfortunate we got into a car accident on the way out of leaving Augusta. Yeah, it was in a rental. It was like...
It is a time warp place, though.
It's time warp.
And when you're there, you're doing things their way. Like, this is how we do stuff here, and if you're gonna be here, then you
time warp, man.
Have to do it. When they have their golf tournaments, it's pretty much the same way.
Yeah, they told us, like, you guys got to hurry up. You got to leave the grounds. Like the Open was starting and all that, and I was like, okay, we're going. We're trying to. And that was the only reason why I was there, was like trying to push the guys and stuff. And we missing some tables or whatever else.
Right.
They made do. They didn't even use the tables that we had. They pushed everything aside and made an open forum, and all the players come out and they do the wave and the jacket ceremony and all that other stuff. But man, these old town foggy time warps are amazing, that people still live in these little bubbles. And I think this is the campaign of the people I don't know the difference between right and left. Like I don't know this. I mean, as much as I listen to the left, the right, and I don't really think that. I always thought that when they say the left, like, is just someone that just went off of what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, I'm centric to the conversation, and you're going left.
Right.
So you went off the path.
Right.
The way the media
left
speaks.
Left tends to be Democrat, right tends to be Republican, and so however you fit on that thing.
So who's the guy in the middle?
Right,
the middle
exactly.
of the aisle, like
Exactly.
I want to be in the aisle. Like I just want to walk down the aisle.
Well, we've become so extreme on both sides
Right.
that you can't tell the difference now. I mean,
Huh.
traditional Democrats who are on the left, and I guess I consider myself to be that.
Yeah.
Look at some people who are now who claim to be on the left, but their views are very extreme. It's like, well, no, I don't agree with that. Like,
right.
I don't agree with. Okay, you don't like what this guy has to say, but this guy still has the right to say it. I mean, we
right.
should still defend that right for that person
to say
what he has to say. And I can't get with that. I can't get with that notion of we should shut down somebody's speech and whatnot, because that's kind of like a value
because from where he sits,
because of that person's opinion. So that person has an extreme viewpoint on the other side,
right?
And so this happens like on a lot of like a lot of college campuses and stuff.
Does it?
Yeah. Like people, what happened like at Berkeley and stuff like that, they get a very like controversial speaker like a Milo Yiannopoulos or Ben Shapiro or other people or stuff like that. People who are very conservative and extreme on the right. I wouldn't even say Milo Yiannopoulos is on the right. I think he's like
Ben Shapiro for sure.
Like Ben Shapiro is very conservative. He's very conservative. But he's also not an anarchist, and he's also not for some reason people have equated speech with violence. And so if you say something against me, you are in a sense committing violence towards me, and therefore I can retort that with actual violence.
Yeah,
violence. I don't know how we got there.
I don't know how we got
Augusta
there.
National, but yeah.
Well, we went from left and right and whatever else. But violence begats violence, and speech. Sticks and stones break my bones. Words will never hurt me. What happened to that? Like that.
Exactly.
That kind of was like, okay, brush and walk away, snap and break away,
brush and walk away, or come up with your counter argument, your retort, and which is intelligible and is backed by something other than your own.
I'm speaking louder than you.
Feelings. Right.
Like I have the mic and I'm speaking louder than you, so you don't have the forum. Like, get your own platform, get your own forum. You're in the crowd speaking to the speaker. Right. That doesn't make sense. Right. Why'd you come?
Exactly.
You came to hear what he had to say.
Right.
So why wouldn't you just listen and then say, "Oh, this is bullshit." Right. I don't want to be a part of this.
This is bullshit, and this is why I think it's bullshit. And then have your dialogue.
I agree with that. I think that sorry, it just seems to have some better sound when it turns, because it's actually flat in here.
Right. Huh? Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah, it's flat on one side, and one side gives the other side, and then it gets.
That's right.
Yeah, so everybody has their. I like the kid Ben Shapiro. I really think he's onto something. If he could just take a Xanny and just chill out a little bit. This guy's certifiably.
The dude can just go on and on. Exactly. He's incredibly intelligent.
He's incredibly intelligent. He's got like 4 degrees or something like that. He has like super degrees.
He's got a law degree. He's got a degree in political science, and he graduated. Magna cum laude from Harvard or something like that, and
then he wears a yarmulke, and then he'll put his yarmulke on, and then everybody was like, "Wait a minute, you're Jewish?" And he says, "Yes." He says, "I do, respect my religion, etc." But that makes everybody weird too. Like they start to think that religion and race are the same, and people mix a lot of that together. Nowadays more than ever, they're mixing religion and race, which is a horrible thing to do. Your faith shouldn't have anything to do with the political side of it.
Can you separate faith from religion?
I think you can.
Can you? You should be able to, but then,
let's
if you're going to rely on the dogmatic aspects of religion, then does that also play into your faith? I mean, do you have to do you have to have faith and also believe in in the dogma that religion can present? So if you are a Christian, then can you separate yourself from somebody who says, yes, I'm a Christian and I believe in the Bible verse where it says you should destroy your neighbor if they work on the Sabbath.
Huh.
Okay, you're both Christian.
Yeah.
So do you support that, or do you? I mean, can you go against that and say, well, that's kind of fucking idiotic?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many verses in there that talk about, yeah, you are supposed to have slaves. You're supposed to. You just don't bash them in the face. It says don't break their teeth where they can't be presentable to be sold again.
Can't be presentable.
Or their eyes, or they can't do the work, and you don't beat them so bad. Like there's some horrific things in the Bible that speaking when spoken, mean different things. So I
But the Bible has like a 2.0 version in the New Testament.
Yeah.
Like the New Testament said, hey, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah.
This some of that shit's a little.
Yeah,
let's fix this a little.
let's fix this so that it's more readable, more reader friendly, and I do think it was made a little bit more reader friendly. But again, we always. But I'm trying to fixate on religion and faith, and I mean, to me, faith is just believing that things will be better. But then again, can it be believing that things will be worse? I don't think it has a plus or a minus. It's not a positive or a negative thing. Faith is just belief,
right?
And
belief in something external outside of yourself,
enough to make you go do something,
right?
So, is that really what people want? I mean, do they want a faith in goodness, or I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to split it. I don't know how to split it because it is subjective to when you have like I can remember all of my public school, the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and it had God in it, and it said, right? So that to me is crazy because it's a Christianity. It's Christianity. It's based off of Christian faith, and not every who were we talking to? That was for everyone. That wasn't for And there were kids from Pakistan in my class. There were African kids. There were Muslims in my class, and I remember little Douglas Bigod, he would wear his kufi, and he wouldn't participate in that, and we were confused, and instead of I don't know if it was he was the odd man out at the time, what I'm saying? It was like one kid, he's one of those Muslims,
right?
But I didn't meet a Jewish kid until maybe high school, in 80s or 90s. I don't remember. I don't remember when I met a first Jewish.
Right.
And Israel is what, 75 years old? 75, almost 80, something like that?
1940s, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's weird.
But that's not the... I mean, Israel...
Yeah, I know. I'm not going anywhere with it.
Jewish.
Right. I'm not going anywhere with it. I'm just kind of just saying how America was proposing this notion of one nation under God, indivisible, how America was proposing this in what was the goal, or was it just this diaspora of just just trying to invoke this one. But
if you're trying to create something, aren't you trying to create something that's gonna be under like we can all get with this notion, so to speak. Well, we can all believe in this, and then maybe it's in this regard it's a little messed up, or maybe in this regard it's a little messed up. Well, we can all we that's a common ground sort of that we can all invest ourselves into.
No, I agree.
Like this higher good. Maybe that's what faith is. Maybe faith is a belief in that the attempts that I'm making are to a higher good, and if I do things the right way, if I have a sense of morality about things, and then whatever that highest good is, I'll be able to attain it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, listen, the law of averages is you could do more good than you do bad, and I think you're okay. You know, you really, just try to balance yourself out, balance your life out, and balance, doing more good.
But the Old Testament is harsh. I mean, if you read the story of Cain and Abel, there's no reason given as to why Cain's sacrifice was not acceptable.
Huh.
If you read it, this is not acceptable.
No.
And Cain says, well, why? And then God says, well, he says something to the effect of something is sin is at your doorstep. Sin tempts you at your doorstep all the time, and you do nothing about it, or something to that effect. It gives a very vague explanation. But Cain believes that I'm sacrificing my great stuff. Why is it? Why is mine not accepted? And Abel is he's sacrificing his stuff, and look, he's popular and all that. Right, he's prosperous and stuff like that, and I get shit. Why is that? And if you believe in the Bible, we are descendants of Cain. We are not descendants of Abel. We are not descendants of the prosperous good son. We are descendants of the dude that could not deal with evil and decided he was going to smote his brother.
Huh. Interesting. The plot thickens. So, are Cain and Abel, and again, I should know this, and I went to Sunday school, I did all this. Are Cain and Abel the sons of Adam and Eve?
Yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The first, I guess you could say they're the first true humans, because, or they're given credit as being the first humans because they are of human flesh. Adam and Eve are supposed to be creations.
So, did they sleep with Eve? And
Don't
have
know.
more kids? How?
It's a good answer. It's a good question.
Good question. I mean, again, I've seen this done a million times on YouTube, and they go, if 1 plus 1 is 2,
right?
Okay.
You got to have somebody else to.
Then Cain and Abel were both motherfuckers.
Right.
They were motherfuckers.
That's quite possible. If you want to take it literally.
I'm saying literally.
Right.
I mean,
if you want to take it literally.
In the literal sense, and I've always been told that as long as you try to take the Bible literally or mythology literally, it won't make sense to you. If you try to chronologically put it in order, and at what point you're looking for a dinosaur, and where was that?
I remember that when I was in Sunday school.
Yeah, I mean,
where they would show pictures of Jesus petting a baby dinosaur, and I would go, okay, this is crazy. How far are we going with this?
Right,
stuff?
BC and AC and AD.
Right. So there's a question, like, do you believe in the literal translation of the Bible, or do you believe in the metaphorical metaphorical truth that it is trying to teach you?
Right, and I think I believe in the metaphorical piece, because I take all the good parts of it and say, do good things. Go plant a tree. Go help somebody and do things. And I take all the good parts of it. When you try to look at it, it's almost as if what we talked about with Nut. And trying to say the hyper reality of it is. Someone asked me the other day. It was like, every time I watch the Spider-Man, it's like it's happening all over again. And I said, yes, they just keep redoing it.
Keep redoing the story, right?
Right. It's just told a different perspective. Mm-hmm. It's not meant to be linear. They was like, but I saw part 1, 2, and 3. How is this number 5? If that didn't, and I said, no, this is not Star Wars. This is not like a trilogy or a series of things. This is just reinterpreted. It's the story, and it's just told again.
Over and over again.
It's just told again in today's vernacular, in today's, and people I've seen people get perplexed to the point where they can't stand it. That's why a lot of people don't like Pulp Fiction.
The movie Pulp Fiction? Because what?
Because they can't chronologically do it. They can't.
It's not because it's not done linear.
It's not linear. Right. So everybody that I've said one of my favorite movies, hands down. Everybody that doesn't like it, unfortunately, I categorize them as somebody that just can't chronologically put things together.
Right.
They can't hear the end of the story and see the beginning and then go back and then this and it's like, but John Travolta was dead. How did he be in the diner? And how did follow the story? I'm prepared to scour the earth for this motherfucker. What was in the box, man?
Somebody once told me
that
they believe
that would be a great spin-off. I'm shocked he hasn't done it.
The box. What's in the box?
I'm shocked he hasn't done it. Quentin Tarantino, with all his smarts and all his stuff, I'm shocked he hasn't done even a cartoon or something. You could do a whole thing about that.
A friend of mine gave me 2 interpretations.
I'd love to hear it.
That one is physical and one is more metaphorical. The physical thing, which is kind of like I think him and I agreed on this, was we said this is the Holy Grail. They went and got the Holy Grail, the actual Holy Grail. Okay.
Okay.
That's the actual physical
possible
thing. Metaphorical thing was that it was Marcellus Wallace's soul. And Marcellus Wallace was looking to recapture his soul. It's what was taken from him from the back of his head, which is why he has the Band-Aid in the back of his head. And so he had to go to Amsterdam, and then he lost it in Amsterdam, and he asked somebody to go back to reclaim his soul.
See that could be a whole
his goodness, his method of being a decent human being. He was trying to get that back. That's what a friend of mine told me.
But I saw in a gag reel, or I may be wrong, that I saw that he just cut himself shaving. Like,
There was the real reason why there's a Band-Aid.
Right, with the Yaddies on the back of his neck.
Right,
and I was like...
himself shaving.
I was like, what the...
Quentin Tarantino, oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's real.
It's right.
It's real. The bald guys shave, raw with razors and whatever else. But I would just love to hear that. What's in the what's in the suitcase, man? Because even Roth, he goes, is that what I think it is? So how would he know?
Right, he identifies it. He acknowledges it, which is why we came up with the Holy Grail thing.
Because it couldn't be Marcellus. He didn't know Marcellus. He didn't know of the street gangster. He didn't know the history of Marcellus, and and at some point I always thought that he was gonna tie that with Reservoir Dogs and somewhere kind of, because it kind of Reservoir Dogs was great pickup. Like,
I wasn't a big Reservoir Dogs fan. Nah, I mean, I liked it. I didn't like it as much as I liked Pulp Fiction, but I mean, I did like it.
See, but I think that itself has its old, like the Mr. Pinks, the purple, all the guys, like these guys
Why am I Mr. Pink?
He's got a cool name.
That's right. He's Mr. White. He's got a cool sounding name.
Yeah. Still Steve Buscemi. Valley Stream's finest.
Oh my God.
He's from the town here.
Yeah. Did you see that documentary he did with the firefighters?
No. Was he here? At the
was
local?
A good. He was either here or at another station. I can't remember.
Yeah, Lynbrook or something.
He did a documentary with some of those guys.
Yeah, it's a great diner around. They always have all the stuff with it.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great ad.
But speaking of Hollywood, more accusations.
Oh yes, everybody.
Russell Simmons now.
Oh, he got it. Oh, okay.
Russell Simmons now on the box.
He's denying it though.
He vehemently denied it. I can't say that word. Vehemently denied it. Along with, he was with someone though.
They said it was 2 people?
It was him and another super producer, another like a Weinstein guy, one of those other big guys.
Okay.
One of the big guys, and they do some crazy wild parties or whatever else. And so again, I mean, this is just crumbling from the seams. It's getting weird. With Charlie Rose, old school.
I know, the thing, that's... And he kind of admitted it, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he kind of said, I behaved badly. He probably just said he was a bad boy.
Jesus. It's a shame, because I kind of, want these to not be true.
Yeah.
I kind of want these to be irrational people who see an opportunity to gain some type of notoriety, maybe gain a little bit of money, and create these things. But then when the dude comes back and he says, "Yeah, I kind of did," so wait a minute, you walked around the studio half naked, and then wait a minute, you asked these people to masturbate in front of him. Like all these horrific things, not even things that can be interpreted as negatively, like putting your hand on somebody, or maybe grazing somebody the wrong way, something that could be interpreted as bad. But those weren't my intentions. No, if these things are true, this is clearly some shit you really should not have been doing.
These guys, I mean,
and you've gotten away with it for all this time.
These
and
guys
it's like,
are really
holy shit.
These guys are really behind closed doors. And you know what? When you start to look at, like, now I'm starting to put the similarities together to the Catholic priests. And you take this notoriety and fame where they can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And they're imprisoned in their own world, their realm. So they have to stay in the studio and they got to make the best of it. So this is why the Catholic priest would allegedly do what he does in his own monastery.
Right.
Chasing nuns around, whatever it is. I mean, and I think that's what this is. This is the Catholic, the deprivation of being regular, right? This is the deprivation. Right. This is I can't be regular, so I'm gonna. Hey, you come here.
Well, wasn't there a time when the Catholic Church allowed priests to have families? There was a time
I would, yeah.
Which they allowed Catholic priests to have families, and then for some reason they changed it, in which a Catholic priest cannot have their own family.
That's the weirdest thing ever. It seems like it would solve a half of the shitload of the problems.
It seems like it would.
Have your own family and just. I mean, listen. I've coached at a parish here, and the priest would always come down and he'd just have this googly eye. Oh, the boys! Oh, and I think we just made that happen. But he would, and it was like, and I remember taking a Virtus class, which is Virtus is a training that the archdiocese puts out for all coaches, and you sit through this 5-hour class of. We do high fives, not low fives. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it was super. Sure. So what they did was make sure they went on record to say that they've trained you the proper way to reward players, to evoke stuff, and no pats on the butt.
Okay.
So this was their whole. Sign the paper, please. Put your ID, put your license in. They stamp you in, put you in the archdiocese, and they keep a file on everybody that they've gone through. So if you ever get into some bullshit, they go. We trained this guy. We put him through the class. It's an approved program. Wow, I can't believe he touched these boys. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. And you go back to like Christ the King with like Bob Oliva.
Right.
A history coach who was taken down by a fucking one of those kids that was wrong. I mean, he was, whether it was true or not, you know what I'm saying? But something like that, you could have your whole career. Now, I feel bad for the people that are affected and are really touched and are really victims, and people that take advantage of those situations, especially coaches, especially mentors. Right. Damn, I mean, it's cheap now. You can go out and do whatever you want for nothing. I mean, for crack. You know what I'm saying?
For crack.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, it's like, why? I don't understand why these guys have to do this. Like, why do they? I guess it's, again, what we said, it's the prison. It's the prison.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, first of all, it's
sad.
Number one, it's sad. Number two, it's deep. Well, any collection of, when you talk about priests, a lot of people go to the priesthood because there is this sort of community, this isolated community, to which I only really have to answer to a few people. Yeah. And of course, my mission, my higher power.
Wow, that's
there's this excellent, I can't remember the name of it. There's this excellent documentary about this priest in Wisconsin, I think it was. But he headed a parish, and the school was predominantly kids who were deaf and dumb. Couldn't speak, could not hear.
Ooh.
And he systematically was abusing all of these kids. And one of the things that came out at the end of that documentary was that how the Catholic Church protected their assets. So that you could not protect, so that only a certain amount of money, it would look like they only have a certain amount of money on the books, so that when people did file lawsuits, okay, well, you don't have access to you only have access to
Can't
10
sue you
million.
for 10
you don't
million,
have
right.
you don't have access
I
to
see.
300 million
Yeah.
and stuff like that. The guy that did that was Cardinal O'Connor,
Huh.
who is the
How about that?
who's the guy in New York,
New York, yeah.
who basically assigned assets.
Offshore. Like,
well, he assigned assets to people who were deceased.
Ooh.
So
That's horrible.
basically, right. So basically,
Yes.
on the books, it looked like that the Catholic Church only had X amount of dollars in assets when they really had,
Yeah.
multitudes.
I mean, this is what Enron did. I mean,
Yes.
Enron did the same thing. They just moved money in different pockets,
Right.
And they forgot who had those pockets, and when they drained, they was like, wait a minute,
Just moved it from one spot to
I
another.
thought we had $300,000 in this
Yeah,
account, and that's
who's
negative
that guy?
equity.
Who's
And
that guy? Madoff? Did you see that movie?
with
Madoff?
De Niro?
Yes.
No, I didn't see it yet.
It's
Is it good?
It's excellent. You can probably catch it on HBO. Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's essentially what he did.
Yeah.
Took money, put it in his left pocket, and then if he needed to get it, gave it out of his right pocket, and then that type of thing like that.
I know. Listen, it's weird. It's just so weird. It's weird to see these guys crumble like this. But I think that one of your favorite terminologies is happening here, and it's happening in Hollywood. The burning of the fields.
Burning of the field, yep.
Because if you don't, if now, I mean, Tyler Perry said it on, I think it was on Rachel Ray or something, and he said it like kind of intermittently, which made sense. And I don't follow him a lot like that, but what he, obviously, he built this studio at this Air Force base or whatever else, and everybody keeps saying, why? And he was like, I just got tired of asking people, can I work?
Right.
And I'm creative, and I want to just create, so I just created my own space, and now they're coming to me, and they have to, so he still has to play ball, but he has to play ball on his field. He has a little home court advantage. And I think that's where multimedia is going.
Oh, for sure.
Because you got guys getting thousands of views.
For sure.
No one's watching. See the what do you call that box they have? The
cable box, the Nielsen
box. These things are garbage.
Yeah.
They don't report. My mother-in-law has one, and it keeps saying 5 people watching, 2 people watching.
Really?
I'm like, what does this thing do? Like, I don't even know how it works. But the proof, the metadata of people watching, what they're doing is more important than the esoteric data. Like, just because it was on, like,
right.
Is the now provable data is really going, oh wait, you know what? Millions of people watch this guy's show,
right?
But CNN, whatever. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the whole network model,
right,
is becoming a failing. Is becoming a failing
right.
model.
So this is the new Hollywood. This arena this your own platform has become the new Hollywood.
You can create your own platform, and and if you are successful, then you have essentially some form of control over your product. Now, now that we don't like net neutrality,
right,
and which we're going to have basically big companies controlling. I wouldn't say controlling, but having greater access to high-speed internet.
And that's
then,
the key.
Other people having, you got to compete for the slower shit and stuff. That might change the model.
Well, that's where we're going.
A little bit.
I mean, that's where we're going now. I mean, you're seeing bandwidth
restrictions, right?
Hugely being restricted because of the type of content and the monetization of it. I mean, our channel alone, every time I keep getting these clicks on it, like, oh, you said something provocative, you lost sponsorship or whatever else. Okay, whatever. Yeah, didn't do it for $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Take 2 cents away from me. Okay, great. Poland Spring doesn't want to, play. But, it says a lot about how it's not in the control of the big 5 families, or is it? Because without YouTube, without the one platform that's out there, it's really one platform. YouTube, Facebook, you know what I'm saying? It's really one platform, and Twitter, these 3 now have become the new
NBC, CBS,
Murdoch, Rupert Murdoch, what's the other guy? All these other guys. They're the new of that. And I think it's more dangerous. I think it's more because the plug could pull. Well, I think they can manipulate it the way they want to.
They could, right.
they can manipulate views. They can manipulate your tags. People searched. I can't find you guys. Oh, where is it? Well, okay, here's the link. Here's I didn't see. So that's the one thing where the mindless programming of the ABC, CB, Fox, and all these guys programming. I have a video here. I'll share with you. I'll show it to you where this guy takes news broadcasts from around the world. Same topic. And word for word, every newscast, don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy was the number one. It just goes on. And it's scripted so well that you go, wait, hold on. Every and they talk about stories, like breaking stories, and they're showing how the teleprompter is, and they're reading the exact same headline. A boy was found in a bush. Not to say the bush wasn't there, but back to you, Chuck. They all say the same thing, and he I don't know how he did this. He must have took hundreds of footage and chop, and they all say the same script. And I think that's what people don't want to hear anymore. People don't want to hear the canned response. They don't want to hear the teleprompter. They want real people, real views.
That's why people love Trump.
Yeah.
That's why people love. I think so. People love the uncanned response.
I think so.
The non-rehearsed response.
I think so. I think so.
They think the authenticism of that defeats what the alternative was. Like I know where he's coming from. I have a feeling like I know where he's coming from. I mean, we call him an idiot and stuff like that, but I think he's a little bit more. I think he's a little bit more in tune, or the people around him anyway are a little bit more in tune to what his message should be and how his message should come out. Because the Ma and Pa United States of America sort of feels that this is a much more genuine person than they would like a Hillary Clinton. Everybody, even people who voted for Hillary, still believe that Hillary Clinton was just like there's a question of me believing her. I may not like what Donald Trump has to say, but you know what? I believe what he is saying.
You trust the what do you call it? The velvet glove, or I don't know. I mean, either. There's a saying. It sounds like George Bush. There's a saying in Tennessee. You might as well be Texas. Fool me once. The J. Cole.
I remember that. I remember.
Fool me once.
And he didn't remember the quote. That was hilarious. So you fool me once. You
can't get fooled again.
You're not going to be fooled again. Right.
But the canned response is really, people just, I really believe that people want to hear a voice in the sky just say, that's wrong.
No! I didn't say that.
And if you did, you get people saying it all the time. Oh, that was why we had the hurricane. That was why. But again, you go back to like the speed of life, with all the disaster that has happened in the last 3 months, 6 months. It's over, and we're looking for the next one tomorrow. Like, I mean, there was no Thanksgiving massacre that I've heard of. It was a huge earthquake in Egypt and some other crazy places.
That's right.
300 people, something like that. God, awful. But social media floods us with so much content that this maniac that shot all these people, it's like no one's even talking about it anymore. It's over. It's just it's sad that. Well, I don't know how much we should lament over it, and just keep beating a dead horse. But we're just so filled with mindless fodder that what's important anymore doesn't even matter anymore.
Important,
So even for and I think this could work. This could work in reverse to the people who want to martyr themselves, right?
Okay.
So there's a line in one of my other favorite movies, Seven, right?
Great.
Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman. You agree? Great movie.
Great movie. Brad Pitt was shitty in that movie, but it was a great movie.
He was shitty in it, but he was frenetic. I mean, he was the hot dog.
It was a young Brad Pitt.
But I like that Brad Pitt. I really do. I really like that look. But there's a line in there where the guy's in the car with Kevin Spacey. Wow, you know what I'm saying? And he's in the back, and he's like, "You're a fucking T-shirt.
Oh,
man.
that's right. Yeah.
You're a flavor of the month.
Flavor
man.
of the month. You're a T-shirt.
You're a
Right.
T-shirt.
Right.
Tomorrow, nobody's gonna remember
Right.
you. And what's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
No. So that's the kind of thing I like with, the fact that terrorism, the thought of thwarting terrorism, that no one will care anymore, that we're so desensitized, that, like, look, okay, I'm not taking it away. I'm not taking that they're horrific acts, but the fact that your martyrdom will last only a day, like you'll be a week,
Right.
you'll be a week in the newspaper, and next week you're gone.
Right.
So this is now changing the paradigm of, I want if you were a radical, let's just say you were some radical guy that wanted to get fame and stardom and all of this for blowing yourself like this nut in Manhattan or whatever. He's gone. He's nowhere.
But still, but at the same time, this is, and I think we talked about this some time ago earlier, in a previous podcast we did. The difference between this guy in Manhattan is that now his opportunity for martyrdom is gone.
Right.
Because if you remember, he came out and he had this toy gun, and he clearly wanted to get shot.
Yeah.
He clearly wanted to die, and he clearly wanted to die for his cause. Okay, that didn't happen.
Right.
So now we get to punish you.
Learn. Bathroom break is over.
We refreshed. We were talking about that dude in Manhattan who's now has to go to
martyrdom.
Right. Right. He doesn't get an opportunity to be a martyr,
Right.
so he's got to go through the whole, and I think he just recently got charged and he got arraigned on charges. I think it was like
I haven't heard anything about this guy. I mean, they must be beating the shit out of him.
I'm sure he's
plucking his teeth.
I'm sure his days are not pleasant days.
No. Think he's getting waterboarded?
It's a good question.
That's
Probably
some terrible shit, man.
Probably not, because I think this is almost an opportunity to sort of say, okay, we got you. You did what you're gonna do. You're now gonna go through things the way we do things. And yes, you know what? You should be dead.
Right.
And if it were my family, you couldn't be dead enough.
Right.
But you know what? What differentiates us from you
is diplomacy.
There's a sense of diplomacy. You're gonna get your day in court. You're gonna get your opportunity to say whatever it is you want to say. You have the right to a defense. That's kind of that's how we do it.
That's how it works. Yeah.
He is. I believe he is a citizen.
Is he?
I think he is. I think he's a naturalized, or he had a green card or something like that. Like he's been here for years.
I didn't hear anything about this guy. I didn't hear any of the story. I just know that I think my comment. Oh yeah, now I remember. My comment was that a lot of guys that are thinking that they're gonna get fame from this is now starting to realize that they're a YouTube clip and they're a T-shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like you'll never be a Che Rivera. You won't be this romantic, sexy guy that thinks he's gonna be this revolutionary guy. Like that.
You're not gonna get. You don't have your 40 virgins.
No.
That's not done for you.
I mean, even even Osama or any of the big the big boys are they're well, what's the why do people go after Che Rivera as if he's some sort of a thing that makes? Why are they so romantically involved with Che Rivera?
Because it's about it's sort of about like this fight against the government and revolution and people forget to read the whole story. So he kind of like killed a bunch of prisoners. 400 prisoners who weren't combatants. These were people that they captured.
Right, he was in his way.
Right.
His way.
So we kind of forget that, but we sort of like romanticize this notion.
Fucking beret. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
He's got a
beret, and it's rebellion. If you ever seen the movie Motorcycle Diaries,
no,
it's a good documentary at the start of it, like how he came to believe some of the things that he believed. Oh shit!
But this is the one I was telling you about.
What? The bottle.
But this is the Best Damn Brewing Company. The best damn brewing company. How about
The
that?
best damn brewing company.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Motorcycle Diaries was about like him.
Was it Motorcycle Diaries?
Yeah, it's
that
about
sounds
a
interesting.
young Che Guevara going through. I can't remember where he's from. I want to say he's from either Spain or maybe Venezuela or.
Okay.
But him on his motorcycle going through, he was going to be a doctor. So he went and he saw, like, the first thing he organized, I think he organized migrant farm workers or something like that.
Huh.
And it was really a positive thing. But then he hooked up with Fidel Castro and, you know, became a little bit even.
Are you talking about the real Che?
Che Guevara.
Okay,
yeah.
right. He was a farmer. He was he was putting together, wanted fair working wages for people.
Right, the migrant farm
right,
workers. Right. And then he got noticed by Fidel Castro, or Fidel Castro noticed him, or however that, and he became his like minister of whatever, you know, something
sergeant or something
part of the revolution. But yeah, you're right. He gets romanticized about, you know.
But they won't. I mean, no one will get that level anymore. I don't think that's happening anymore.
You see what's happening in Venezuela?
What?
Venezuela.
These guys are eating each other.
Yes.
These guys
They're
are
starving. People are starving.
They are, but I hear, I could be wrong. I could do a little bit more research, but I hear that this is like a Cold War. Like this is a starve them out, like what they want to do to North Korea. Same setup.
Well, I don't know what we're doing.
Well, no, we're the ones saying no. Don't let any boats go. Don't let it go until we sign this deal. And then we'll go in and we'll cure everything and we'll own the place.
I don't know. The place is being run by oligarchs now.
Yeah, it's all. So they're just letting them bleed out. They're just letting them like in Puerto Rico. Okay, what's happening in Puerto Rico? All the drug dealers, all the guys, they're all saying, "Yo, listen, this is a great time to starve these guys out. They got no more resources here.
Right?
Let's bleed them out. They can't get nothing. They can't get and they'll." Die off. Not saying physically die.
So what should happen to Puerto Rico? Because that's a very interesting example.
Yes.
Because you have a U.S. property, a U.S. territory in Puerto Rico. Tremendously, the economy was to shit.
Yep.
Before this horrific hurricane happened.
Yep.
And a lot of people will say that it's to shit because, the government will give you X amount of dollars regardless of what you do.
Yeah.
Let's let some private industry in there.
Yes.
Let them build something, whatnot.
Yeah.
Create an economy based on work. Okay, yes,
sure.
People will be working. Yes, they'll be working for less wages. But you know what? It will be better than what.
Yeah.
And you sort of create this hierarchy to which people can espouse to, and then people will go back and then let private industry sort of build up Puerto Rico.
Sure, I think it should be its own country or whatever. It should be its own asylum or whatever it is. I mean, I don't know how. I guess the debt is so high now that they racked up a bill.
They're a huge bill.
A huge bill, and but Trump is saying I'm willing to write off half of it and give
if you let private industry
right.
develop in there.
So that could happen.
Yeah. That
could happen, and it could happen soon. No better time than the present to really go in and say, "Oh, okay, you want to go in? These guys will go in. Let them build." But there's huge tax implications that I keep hearing about there. There's huge upside and downside. Like to bring your money there and work and do stuff and get it out is just as bad. It's terrible.
Really?
Yeah, and the tax incentive, there is none.
Right.
So, but if you build and buy, like you build a building and you do something, I forgot, one of these guys on Rogan show was talking about it, how
he built his business in Puerto Rico. And I remember because he had his show like maybe 2 months before that hurricane hit and stuff.
So I wonder how he's faring out. But that, I mean, I think, listen, Puerto Rico should, whenever the people are not in control, I mean, and they don't have a right to govern themselves, and you're just looking for a welfare state, it can't be. You can't
flourish like that.
You can't flourish. I don't see how any flourishment is going to happen from that. I don't see how anyone's going to come out of this and say, we're doing just great. This is awesome. We have our own. We're just begging for coins here
because you have no incentive. You have no incentive to do anything better. You have no incentive to do. Like this is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get it regardless. So, you might want a bigger house, or maybe we can build better schools. And whatnot. There's no incentive to do any of that.
you're right, and which goes into our welfare system of, we talked about it before about the crippling effect of it. It just makes people so lazy.
It's supposed to be like you said. It's supposed to be a crutch.
Right. It's a Band-Aid.
When your leg is fine, then you're supposed to throw the crutch away.
Right.
And get moving. But people are on it for generations.
And the kids grow up knowing that's the system. That's they supposed to give me my check. They supposed to come and I had another baby. They supposed to give me more.
Right.
And that cycle is so.
Well, it's a cycle. Like you said, it's a cycle.
That's a cycle that's detrimental to any environment. I don't know how. That's almost like a virus. That's almost like something you would put in a Venezuela to say, hey, we want this country. You guys got a lot of good shit here. We want to take it, but let me give you a little seed here first. Let me just poison you up. You guys, which in Iraq, you know that. You watch Vice? You see Vice? You ever see?
Not as often, but yes.
This guy, I met that guy Sean, the owner of it.
You told me they tried to they.
No, it was just by happenstance. We just walked by it, and it was in Williamsburg. Their studio was right there, and I was like,
when people were asking you, like, well, who you with?
Yeah, who you with? I'm like, I just walked by. I just walked by. We were doing that Williamsburg hotel, but they showed how allegedly American rabble-rousers or whatever they want to call them have been going there pushing heroin on the kids. Yo, and showing them like Western culture. Yo, you want to be like the rappers and the hip hop and have some fun. And shoot dope, and they're shooting between their toes so that their parents don't see it, and they're doped out. They've taken all these Iraqi kids, the future, and they're zombies. They got them on pills. They made them dependent. So this is the new. So which means, obviously, if some group or some set of people decided that this was a way to infiltrate and go about their business, which seemed to have worked for us. I mean, it worked in the urban communities when, the 70s, when people were quote unquote prominent, and you throw a little heroin out there, you throw a little,
Lupe Fiasco's lyric in a song called Little Weapon.
Yeah.
It says, "This candy give me courage not to fear no one."
He was kind of deep. Lupe was pretty deep. I think he retired, right?
No, he didn't. Did he really?
Yes.
No, he came up with an album like about a year ago.
Oh, I thought that was his last one. I think he said, I'm done, and
I think he came
never make another record again.
Now I gotta look.
Yeah, look at it. I think he said something. Maybe that was the marketing thing.
Yeah, it could have been.
Like
maybe he's doing it under a new name.
Yeah.
Like he's
Ultramagnetic.
No longer, right, he's no longer Lupe Fiasco.
Dr. Octagon. Listen, that guy pulled off what no one could ever do again. You know what I'm talking about? Cool Keith? Cool Keith, man. That guy pulled off a hip hop phenomenon. And no one respects what this guy did.
Yep.
I mean, this guy flipped the script, went to Japan, and came out with like a doctor's coat on and changed his name and
changed everything.
He
was always a little off the wagon, though.
So, but that flow, did he? All of them bite that. Agitating, meditating.
Oh yes.
Everybody bites that flow. Did he did it on that time to get loose. That's Cool Keith flow, man. That's Cool Keith.
Cool, yes.
That guy was Ultramagnetic, was crazy, man. They don't get enough respect, man. Shout out to Ultramagnetic, man. I gotta go download some Ultramagnetic, man. I used to love those guys.
Cool Keith was out there, man. He was out there. The dude was still taking the bus. Before he went and did all this thing in Japan. Yeah. Dude was still taking the bus.
But you know what? That goes into a great segue of where are all the fun rappers? Like where are the Biz Marquis? Have you seen Biz Marquis' documentary?
No.
Biz Marquis got a documentary will blow you away. Blow you away.
I love me some Biz Marquis.
Biz Marquis' documentary is so good because I remember Big Ant. You remember Big Ant? Mm-hmm. Big Ant Johnson he used to carry for Bodyguard and carry records for him all the time. I see him in Miami. Yeah, I'm with Biz again. This is when carrying records was a real case.
That was your job.
That was your job. He carried these big cases, and he'd be at all these parties and all this stuff. But man, they got such a document.
For as much pub as he gets for the few songs that he's had.
Yeah.
That's another dude who doesn't get his respect as a DJ. As a straight up crate carrying.
He gets the checks.
DJ.
He gets the check. He's still getting like 50,000. I mean, he books.
It costs you a penny if you want. If you want Biz as your DJ.
Because I remember when I was with Fubu on the road and we did a party in Miami. It was Miami or Tampa that they had rented a house out. Man, we were like housekeeping. Right? We were in charge of cleaning the whole house and making sure the pool was swept out, and fishing condoms out of the water, and all kinds of crazy goofy shit. And Biz came, and that's why I saw Big Ant down there, and Big Ant was like, "What you doing with these guys?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm on the road, man, just trying to get a buck." You know what I'm saying? And that's when I learned how to invoice. Like I learned how to use the tax ID and invoice. It was like Jay was like, "I can't give you money out of my pocket. Like, you know, I'm your friend. You know, I'll buy you a sandwich, but." Business to business, you know what I'm saying? And he taught me how to invoice. It was like, send me an invoice, put an invoice, see what happens. You know, you wait to get paid, but the point I'm trying to make is Bismarck came, and I remember watching this fucking guy, you know, as retarded as he looked and goofy, and this motherfucker was jamming. You know what I'm saying? Had the party going, and he gets busy. He gets busy. Watch that documentary if you can. I think it's on YouTube or True TV or something like that. Okay. And there's this guy that made this documentary made a shitload of documentaries on underground guys like Guru. He did
Guru's
one.
Not an underground dude.
Okay, in today's.
By today's
standard, you know, I guess back in the day.
Oh, that hurts me.
I know. But in today's world, the guys that, like, you know, he did EPMD, he did K Solo, like he did guys that didn't really get their voice because of social media wasn't a platform. It didn't have it then. Right. So he kind of went and did this. I don't know if it's authorized. Like I don't know if it's real. I think he went and did his own thing. But you have like Roxanne Shante on there talking about like how, you know, with Biz, like she put him on, like that was. And he was super creative, man. He was just super talented. His appearance prevented a lot of people from accepting him. You know what I'm saying? Right. But he was just he had the beat in his head, and that's why he started the beatboxing, because he was like, "Yo, I got this shit in my head. I want it to sound like this." Like, and that was crazy. I looked up to him with the beatbox and all of that stuff. That was fun.
Biz, nobody beats
the Biz. Remember that? The Wiz?
No, but
the Wiz was. We always talk about things that used to be that aren't here anymore.
Record stores.
Tower Records, Virgin Records.
Tower Records, Virgin Records, The Wiz.
What was the other one? There was a shitload of them on the Avenue, like, you know, in different...
well, everybody had, like, their own, like, you know, you had the big ones, but you also had, like, your corner spots that would sell you these. So if you were a dude pimping CDs... they would give you a bunch of CDs to sell, and then they would have like a catalog of so and so, like, you know, like Black Rock and Ron CDs or something like that.
Black Rock and Ron. Oh, his kid. I think his daughter plays. One of the guy's daughters plays at PDA. Or something. Oh yeah, we see him around. Yeah, last few years ago or whatever. Come on, man. Who's got a Black Rock and Ron CD? If you got a Black Rock and Ron CD, please send us the image and spin it. That's dope. That's a dope cut. Man, there was a ton of guys that, you know, that generation just birthed and didn't get the credit because of the media wasn't there, the platform wasn't there.
Well, there was no. That's what I'm looking for. There was no
platform.
There was no. Well, not necessarily a platform. There was no notion of how big this could be. There became this new way of doing something,
right?
And everybody had their little piece of saying, "Well, this is how I'm doing it differently. This is how I'm doing it differently. Well, this is how I'm doing it differently. This is how," and it all like came together because everybody, like, we listened to everybody's shit.
Right.
There was no there was no, well, you know, this dude's whack or this dude. No, you wanted to hear everybody's stuff, and everybody came, and we all took turns, you know, going up to the park and knocking out the light and hooking up the thing, and somebody would come on and do their thing and stuff like that. So this was like an inclusive thing in which you heard everybody's flow. And if you like this one dude's flow, well, this one dude had a different flow, and you compared the two. It's but did you hear so and so, and did you hear so? That's what it all was. There was never this notion of, well, how many records did you sell? Or you did, you know, they don't want to see you at the Roxy or nothing like that. There was none of that. There was all this, like, I just want you to hear me. I just want you to listen to me.
Well, listen. Whenever, I mean, a Park Jam, you know, I think 50 did it well when he tried to recap that Park Jam. You know, he did that Southside Park Jam CD mixtape or whatever. I was trying to recreate that. You know, shout out to guys like Tape Master, Grandmaster Vic, and all the local guys. They really, you know, they lived for it for nothing. I mean, they did it for no money. They did it for, you know, street cred, and it was a lifestyle. It wasn't even about getting credibility. I should take that back and saying it wasn't really a street cred thing. It was just more for, like, this was a life.
It was
this was a lifestyle. And so a lot of guys that grew up in that era, whether you were watching or you were part of it or you were somehow, you know, came up with, you know, in any part of it, you got to witness it. I mean, I remember watching, you know, Irv, you know what I'm saying? Irv Gotti now, you know what I'm saying? Went to school with us in Jamaica Park.
Right.
With handcuffs on, you know what I'm saying? Dude had handcuffs on. Yo, Hollis Crew, what? Killed it, like, and everybody's looking at this guy, and he was like, "Yo, he got handcuffs on, man. And he brought out Baby J, you know what I'm saying? And Baby J went, Baby J, my man, like, I'm just in it. I'm in it. Like, it all went past him, you know what I'm saying? And but he came out with the Jason Mass joint, mixing. Yo, I'm telling you, man, those days of talent shows. And, you know, just rip it. That was what, you know, my crew wanted to be a part of. You know, we tried, you know, we did everything we could. In fact, we were listening to old tunes last night. Guys sitting there reminiscing of the days when we signed to Eddie F. and doing all this stuff. And it was like, man, what the hell happened? Like, where did it go? Like, where did it all go? And, but to say what I said before is, what happened to all the fun rappers? Like, you know, Busta Rhymes made fantastic videos that were, you know,
it was silly. They would.
Yeah.
It was just.
But I think he took the bar so high with, like, Hype Williams and all those guys, where they were making, like, these little mini movies.
Right.
And I think people were just trying to outdo and not have the content. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Tyler the Creator's like that. You ever listen to this guy?
No.
No, Tyler Creator?
No.
Wolf. He's that whole clique. They're LA guys. They're all skateboarders. They're all like.
If I saw him, I probably know.
Sweatshirt Earl and they got like characters. They should have a cartoon now. These guys are certified for a cartoon because they have characters. Like, this guy will dress up and he does funny stuff. He puts wigs on. He does crazy skits and stuff. His whole crew is like that. So that I like that. Like, I really like when you're able to have fun with it and do it. And not everybody's a street rapper, gun-toting, milligram. Everybody's a mathematician all of a sudden. You know, 36, 32s, and 35s, and 36, 3 kilograms and 20 grams. Man, come on, man. You don't know shit about bagging no weed. Get the money, like DMX said, get the money first. You know what I'm saying? Put the weed in the bag, then get money. Belly's one favorite, man. Belly's favorite movie, but yeah, man. So I don't know where is it going. I mean, I see what they're doing with Eminem. They're really putting him at a. I love M for his talent. I love he's super talented. I mean, we had the pleasure of being at a talent show with him when we were actually shopping 456. We were at the Lyricist Lounge. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes.
We were in the Lyricist Lounge. They were downtown. They used to be a real place.
Right.
It was a real Lyricist Lounge, and I remember that kid Wordsworth. There was a kid named Wordsworth. He was nice. He was a lyricist. And there was a bunch of them. And they was like, yeah, bring it to the stage. Eminem. And I was like, oh, really? Candy? Like, the Eminem?
Right.
And I was like, and they was like, nah, he spells it M-N-M, like, M. What? I'm like, he spells it out. And I'm like, okay. And me and Ali was just sitting there like, and this guy came on like, with a brain torsion, the Martian. And it was like, what the fuck is this? Marshall Mathers, and it was so weird, and it was like the whole B Rabbit thing, you know, and it was like, okay, but we didn't think we witnessed the birth of it. We didn't see it happen. Like we didn't see.
You thought you heard a fly rapper. That's all.
We just thought we heard a white boy on stage getting it off. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? And I've been to a bunch of these showcases where, you know, okay, you can get one off. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't think that was going to be what he is now, a megastar or whatever, and you know, whatever it is. So, and I think that's what you said earlier, is there was no one knew what it was going to be. No one.
Right.
And if you did it thinking you're going to be a star, you didn't really make it.
You didn't really, it just doesn't seem like that. I mean, it seems like the dude. I mean, that's a great question. I don't know who's doing it just to have fun. I mean, maybe, I don't know.
Well, what's the kid?
Action Bronson maybe is a dude who's just like doing his thing and just is not really he doesn't take himself too seriously. It doesn't seem like.
No, the other kid too, coloring book. What's his name? Chance.
Okay, yeah.
Chance a rapper. I like him.
Yeah,
I like him because he put his music out and just made his money on shows and rode and stuff like that. Like, gave it all away and was like, music is music. Like, you're gonna download it anyway.
Right.
So.
And that's not where you make your money anyway. You don't make your money off of people buying your music and whatnot. You make your money off of hopefully people want to see you.
Yeah, but if he garners 1 million downloads and then people for free, whatever it is, you have an audience.
Right.
And now you can do a show. Now you can say, hey, I download. Everybody has my stuff. They can sing along to it. But he has that mix of gospel content mixed with little soul searching, and
Drake puts a lot of stuff out. Drake puts a ton of stuff out.
Drake is a ton.
I think he's like averaging like one a month. Like he's got like another track like every 2-3 weeks.
He's a machine, man. And you know what? I watched like Irv Gotti on Drink Champs and stuff, and he was saying like how, this guy hasn't even peaked yet. Like he hasn't even gone back to movies and TV. You know what I'm saying? Like so the 180 or the 360, I guess, when he comes full circle and comes back into that media world of now the raps are just raps, and now it's movies and TV and all this other stuff. I mean, this guy seems to be a machine. This guy just keeps cranking stuff out, and he's just witty and charismatic, and and it goes against everything else. Like, I mean, shout out to the light skinned champions, because I mean this guy is like, okay, you could grow up being prosecuted as being light skinned and automatically conceived soft, and you have to now prove yourself to be hard. Right. And some people don't have to do that. I mean, you try too hard, you could easily tell who's real, but a guy like Drake, who the biggest and the baddest wolves come after him, and the tough guys and all this other stuff, and when you stay, one thing I liked and appreciated is he stayed in his ground. Like, God, this is what I do. Right. I sing, I rap, and you got beat by me. Like, you got bodied by a singing nigga. Like, come on, man. Wow, finish this guy. Man, finish him. Finish him. Just yoked his toe. Man, and. There was something interesting about the mumble rap. Forgot who said it, but said it pretty eloquently, and I want to give him the right credit. I really forgot who said it. Man, I think somebody said actually Irv Gotti said it. Okay. And he said that it's interestingly that out of all the organization of chaos or whatever, of all the gripe about mumble rap and about their style or whatever else, you have to give them some credit for creating something of their own. Yeah. So as weird as it is, they created a new language, a new lane, a new style, a new whatever it is, and ran with it and took nothing for granted, and just so people keep asking them to pay homage to something that they didn't even...
It didn't have nothing to do with.
Yeah, they didn't have anything to do with it. They don't really even have the right to pay respect to... Like, hip-hop doesn't have... it does have a starting point, I guess, and people want to say Sedgwick and, whatever, and the Bronx, but that's not what music is. Music is eternal. Like, it just always... Rhythm always has, it won't end. It will never end, so...
Well, if you take it like that, then it begs the question, like, as something as, like... on its natural plane of evolution, if this is evolving to it,
right?
Do you necessarily need to go back to what the original was. You know, if you have evolved to this.
Right.
You know, like Irv said, look, this is a lane that was created.
Right.
You know, do I have to go back to the other lane and say, hey, this is, you know, I'm paying homage to it, when what you've actually done is you've actually evolved to something else. Like, you may not like it, you may not, you may not think believe it because you're still here.
That's interesting.
You're still here. But if you've evolved to something else, do you have to go back and credit that, or shouldn't the people who are still here on this other lane? Shouldn't they do what Irv Gotti said and acknowledge that, hey, look, you know what, it evolved to this.
Give them that's what they're doing. Right, that's what they're doing. Stop comparing that to the golden era of Big Daddy Kane and all this other good stuff. Let that caramelize.
Let that be what it is. Right.
Like I don't want Waka Flocka sounding like Big Daddy Kane. I don't want him to redo Young, Gifted, and Black. I don't want that. Like you know what I'm saying? So I don't think that they owe anybody anything other than to just be successful and hope they're doing more good than they're doing bad. You know what I'm saying?
Kool Herc was he was actually on Anthony Bourdain's show.
Good.
And he said something interesting. He said what happened was that as this developed, what happened was everybody left and sort of didn't build upon what that foundation was. They sort of like found another vehicle to which to move on to. So he will say that the evolution of hip-hop came not as the foundation of hip-hop. We didn't build upon that foundation of hip-hop. Hip-hop found another lane to ride in, and then it rode in that lane, and then it evolved from there. It didn't evolve from where it originated to. It sort of like originated, it got to a certain point, and then it sort of like left it where it was, and then it went on and did its own thing. So as it evolves with people who are now, and if you want to put mumble rappers in there, okay, go ahead. Well, they're going back to this lane that was created in spite of the origins.
And I agree with that. I totally agree, and that's commendable. I would love to see that. But I really think that it's you know, it's gotten to a point now where, you know, people got to shit to get off the pot, and they just got to, you know, like they got to just deal with it and stop criticizing. Like, you don't have to buy it. You don't have to patronize it. You don't have to listen to it.
Put your hat in the ring.
Right.
Put your hat in the ring.
Put your hat in the ring. But I never understood why people are, and now more than ever, because everybody has their own platforms, why would you want conventional radio to accept you? Because, like, at some point that was, well, someone's on the radio. Oh, because everybody else heard it. But the notion
that's not necessary anymore.
That's not necessary anymore. That's not even
part of the equation.
That's not part of the equation. Right. Like, I hate the radio. I hate it's a means to an end. It's to keep me busy. I already heard.
Right. I already hear that familiar thing that you have, and it's okay. I know this is coming up, and I'm gonna
listen. You're gonna turn on the radio. You're gonna hear the flavor of the month 10 times before you get to the gas station. I heard Cardi B when I left the house, when I got in the car, and I said, "Damn, this song is as long as it just keep." So asking conventional radio to you have all these apps now. You have all the things you can customize your playlist. You can do all of that, and you're still asking for conventional programmable radio
to acknowledge it. Yeah,
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous for any artist. So kudos to any artist that's getting out there and getting ahead of that, saying we don't really need radio. Like, we don't. But now the biggest thing is the YouTube views and the you know, how many downloads and how many. So it's changed to now. This is the people who are now managing YouTube sites and managing platforms are now in charge of, you know, giving deals out like this. What's the girl? There's some girl did a dance or something. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Got cash or something. Some girl. I don't know. These trends keep popping up, and like
they pop up all the time.
Flavor of the
month. You can't keep up with them.
Flavor of the month. But man, I really miss like the fun rappers. I really miss watching like a real video show, like with
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a real show where they're all gossip shows now. They're all even Complex, which I thought was going to be the new game, the new kid in town to have this new platform of really being revolutionary and bringing street life, streetwear, and tying it all together, kind of like a visual magazine, which the Source magazine used to be, or the Rap Pages, Rap-A-Lot, whatever. They're all just going after the same, catchy phrase and the same little eclectic, like this standing in line stuff, like Supreme and all these other guys.
Okay.
Like they're just after that market.
After that same established market already, and then
established market,
and almost reducing their content to what they view to be
like sneakerheads,
bunch of hits,
sneakerheads, and that it kind of seems to kind of swirl around in the same avenue of people. Have you ever seen Sample This on Netflix? It's about Apache.
Sample This. No.
The Incredible Bongo Band.
Okay.
The song?
Okay.
It takes a 2-hour journey, maybe an hour and 45 minutes of that one record, and shows, it splits it apart from how it started to where it came from to how the guy produced it. Very interesting. You got to watch it. It's called Sample This.
Sample This. All
right. It's called Sample This, and it shows how that one record goes back from Robert Kennedy being assassinated to the band, the actual guys
doing
bongo,
creating the music. Okay.
3 different guys, where the producer was like, I don't know if it was the first guy or the second guy, so I don't think any of you guys should get royalties on this because we can't determine whose bongo it was. Like, they couldn't prove that was me.
That's my style. That's my style.
And he was like, well, I orchestrated, I arranged it, so it's my record. Like, it was real. This fucking guy created a record, and I could be wrong on the name of it. You'll see it in the movie. He created a record called Columbia. He was like Columbia. I forgot the guy's name. I'm terrible with this. And on the moment, I should have wrote it down. He created a record called something of the mime, the life of a mime. You know the mime.
Okay.
The fucking record was 3 minutes of air. So
Pootie Tang's record.
That's where that came from. That's where that idea.
That's where they got the idea from.
Yes, from him. He did this for real. The record goes, it spins, and people are like jumping, like, did I miss it? And at the end, it's. And he sold like 1 million copies of it, or a huge amount. I don't want to say 1 million, but he sold
3.5 minutes of nothing.
3.5 minutes of people waiting for it, like, and they said, "Wait, mine's is bad. I got a bad copy of it." And then when at the end, it was a crowd.
Awesome.
Yo, it's crazy.
That's fantastic.
I think his name was David something or whatever else. This guy was a genius, and he was like a marketing guy. But he was, you watch the movie. It's really crazy. It's a really good story, and it goes into several ways about what's the football player name? Damn, why am I bad with the name? Big football guy, played in movies, used to act. Not Mean Joe Green.
Jim Brown.
The other one. Keep going back.
There's Jim Brown. There's
70s. Go 70s. Like he played the guy with the 2 heads. The man with 2 heads.
He played the man with 2 heads.
Yes. It's an old blaxploitation type of movie.
It's probably what there's L.C. Greenwood. There's
damn, I'm annoying. Was it Truck? No, not Truck. Anyway, it's in the movie. It's
William Perry. No, not William Perry. He's more the 80s.
Sorry,
He's more the 80s.
I'll keep my notes with me next time.
Deacon Jones.
No, not Deke. I know Deacon Jones. So. Anyway, you'll see it. Yeah, I could Google it and look it up.
Those are cool. I'll check those out.
No, it's a really good documentary. I thought I wouldn't be captivated. One record, really did, really good. So we lost the crazy man himself.
What crazy man?
What's the guy? Damn, why am I drawing a blank on names?
Everybody's name. What crazy man?
He just passed away. The fucking swastika on his head.
Oh, Manson. Yes.
Charlie Manson.
Good riddance.
I
remember somebody like sent me an article that says, yeah, Charlie Manson's on death row. I'm like, this fucker's not dead yet?
I couldn't believe it.
He's still alive?
He was giving speeches. He was giving all kinds of crazy motivational speeches. This guy, we kept him in prison for what, 50 years?
Yeah.
45, 50 years.
Yeah.
They kept this guy.
I think, was it California?
Yeah.
California State Pen. I think they had just overruled the death penalty right before his sentence.
Wow.
So I think it was like a matter of maybe a couple years or something like that.
Oh man, he missed it. He missed the deadline.
Yeah.
Missed the cutoff.
He missed his injection.
Man,
He missed
what
his
a-
injection. That's all right. Good riddance.
Yeah, those, but that's a tough topic, and I guess we'll cover that one day about.
Death penalty.
Yeah, man, keeping people alive, man.
Some people should go.
We're all
Everybody
paying
keep buzzes.
Huh?
I keep buzzing.
Yeah, that's you. Oh, it's you.
I have to take these buzzes.
Yeah, but we're running out of time, so not really
All right.
running out of time.
Not really
but,
running out of time.
But this was
We
great.
got a whole day. It was good to get back.
Got a great day. Yeah, we missed last week, but that's okay. They don't know that.
That's right. You just told me.
Yeah, we just told them. Damn, we gave it
Damn
away.
So you didn't watch?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
watch.
this is what, episode 11?
Episode 11.
Dot.
And thank you for watching Two Bros Podcast.
Yes.
Anything else? What's up this week?
Just a little bit of working, maybe
Yeah, I
saving
think
up
this
some
is
money for Christmas. And
Christmas.
that's about it.
Christmas is here.
It's here.
Doesn't even
no
feel
choice.
like it. It was nice outside. What happened? It was beautiful this morning.
It was beautiful this morning, but it's getting cold, so it's like the harsh weather's coming.
But you can smell it, right? Do you smell it? I smell
I
it.
smell like there's a brisk,
Yeah.
like a thing in the
It's
air.
a weird thing.
Like,
You open the door, crispy,
it's
brisk
fall.
air. It's fall.
It is fall.
Well, again, thanks for everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace. Remember, be a blessing to somebody else.
Two Bros Podcast.
Peace.
Oh.
Oh.
Looks like a Nick win. All right. We pulled it out. Appreciate it, Jabbar. Thanks for the tickets. We're still not calling KP the Unicorn. No, not calling KP the Unicorn. How the f*** did Rodney Hood get 30 points?
Why the hell did Rodney Hood get 30 points?
Two
That's
Bros
the question.
Podcast.
Two Bros Podcast. Like, comment, share.
13 Ghost TV, 1.
We'll see you next episode.